Hey everyone, this is Bobby Sweeting with Alto Cycling. Today we're going to go through our hub service, assembly and disassembly of our R-symmetric hubs. The tools you're going to need: two 5mm Allen keys, a 2mm Allen key, a torque wrench set to 15 inch-pounds. Not super necessary, but if you want a really precise build, we recommend using a torque wrench. Any standard grease will do, but we recommend like a mobile waterproof grease. That's what we use at our factory. And so that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, we're going to start with the rear R-symmetric hub. It's got a one-piece axle with an end cap that's tightened down by a 2mm pinch bolt. So you'll just loosen that pinch bolt. Use your 5mm Allen keys on the broached slots on the axle and end cap to break that loose. Unthread it. So the free hub and axle will come out as one assembly. You got your 71902 angular contact bearings with a 48 tooth ratchet ring in there. 7075 axle, 7075 free hub. This free hub is pressed onto the axle so that can slide out. Make sure when you're doing that you're not touching the press fit surfaces. All the surfaces that the bearings go on are really tightly toleranced. If you hold that with your hand, the heat from your hand can change the tolerance enough to make it difficult to reassemble. So make sure that you just set that down. This is your spacer sleeve for the free hub. You don't want to forget that. And you've got your free hub. It has two 71802 bearings secured by C-clips in there with your wiper seal. It's got a 4-pawl design with 3 individual teeth per pawl. To service these pawls, one of the most important bits, and there's no grease in here for for ease of showing you guys how to disassemble and reassemble, but it's really important not just to grease the outside of the pawls, but to grease inside these pawl surfaces. So you'd take your grease gun or just a little bit of dab of grease, and you can knock it right in there, and then put the pawl back on, and that'll keep your free hub really quiet, get rid of any creaking, all that good stuff. This is also what you would do if you were swapping out an axle with your disc brake hubs to put a through axle in, or any one of our axle standards. It's a very similar process. You would take your axle, you'd press fit on your free hub, that slides right on. Don't forget your spacer sleeve. You want to put some grease around the surface here that it rides on. I'm not going to do that now, just to show you guys how it fits on, but that'll slot down in there. Then you put your axle back through the hub, kind of rotate that, it'll pop in, and you'll thread the end cap back on with, again, 5mm Allen keys. Make sure not to over tighten this end cap. You want to bring it down just until there's no slop. So I like to push it back and forth with my fingers. You can see that there's some slop in the axle. You'll tighten the end cap down just until you don't get any slop in the axle, and just do about an 1/8 turn at a time. Right there is where there's no slop. So that's where we want it. Then you'll take your torque wrench. If you have a really good Allen key, you can do this without a torque wrench, but we tighten everything down to 15 inch-pounds. And that's it. So it's as simple as that to disassemble, service the hub. We're going to go through in a different video how to replace any of these bearings should you need to. But that is your rear hub service. Front hub is even simpler, obviously. It's only 3 parts. You've got your end cap, your one-piece axle, and your shell. So you're going to loosen the pinch bolt, use your Allen keys to take the end cap off, That's your axle there. This one is greased up with some waterproof mobile grease. It's a 71802 bearing, angular contact in the shell with your one-piece axle with a labyrinth seal built into the shell. You can re-grease the axle, you can replace these bearings, again, which we'll show you in a different video. And then remember, again, don't take the axle out and hold it here, because it'll be a little bit harder to reassemble. You simply want to press that back in. Bring the end cap down. Just like the rear, you don't want to tighten it down too much, so I just like to take it down until it doesn't have any axle slop. You don't need to build in any axle slop into our hub system, because we have an extremely tight fit on the thread engagement between the axle and the end cap, so you're not going to overload the bearing. The axle does not move relative, or the end cap does not move relative to the axle because of that thread fit. So as soon as it doesn't have any slop, you'll tighten it down to 15 inch-pounds with your torque wrench. There you have it. It's as simple as that to service our R-symmetric hubs. Be sure to check out all of our other videos for more tips and tricks on wheels, bike maintenance, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time.